Yeah, so the way we frame it at Adobe, and this is something our leadership believes in, including us in India and our global CEO as well, is that our intellectual property or our IP goes home every night and hopefully comes back the next morning. We truly believe that while we are leaders in digital media and digital marketing, all of that has been made possible by our biggest assets, which is our people. So we've changed completely, or really dramatically, in terms of the way we are helping our employees grow. One instance of what we've done is, I think we were the first company in the world that set the trend for abolishing the annual appraisal system and the stacked rank system of how you grade employees with a particular band or a grade. We found that that system was very limiting. First, it was almost like looking back at the entire year, but practically when we looked at the data, people were grading employees or giving them feedback just basis the last couple of months or weeks' performance. So it's more recent performance that was influenced. The other thing that we saw was, it was always about looking back, like looking into a rearview mirror, because you're always giving them retrospective feedback rather than planning for the future. And if people really are your biggest assets, then why stack rank them and pit one employee against the other? So we really moved away from that system and introduced a process which is known as check-ins. Check-ins are a process where you and your manager, or an employee and the manager, get together every quarter and they agree on a set of objectives for the employee. And at the end, once the quarter is over, we give proactive feedback. So there's constant ongoing feedback, which is agile. And at the end of that discussion, we actually develop what is a growth and a development plan for each individual in the company, which is an individual, or we call it an IDP, or an individual development plan, to really chart his or her career and roadmap within the organization in terms of his skill sets or her skill sets. So it's a process that has worked wonders. Ever since we launched it, 3 real amazing data points. Our stock price has gone up by 68%. That's interesting, right? The other thing that is interesting is our attrition, or our voluntary attrition, has come down to single digits, and the employee engagement is unbelievably high. We've also saved about 80,000 hours of manager time that was traditionally spent in appraisals, and that's like hiring 43 more people into the company if you take 80,000 hours and extrapolate that over the year. So we're thrilled. And after we've launched this, and this was Donna Morris, our global HR leader, was really passionate about this, but a lot of companies, including Microsoft, are now moving into the same model. So it's interesting that Adobe's kind of set the little trend in this direction. I think the union budget has been fantastic. I think the new government is extremely progressive. I think the way they're looking at long-term solutions to solve grassroots problems is, again, fabulous. Just the sheer adoption of technology and digital, and the amount of emphasis that the government is putting in, whether it's trying to help startups or whether it's trying to help the economy by setting up digital cities, right? I think all of those are great directions. And when you think about a smart city or a connected city that they're talking about, it's going to need technology, it's going to need surveillance, it's going to need healthcare, it's going to need, biomedical, it's going to need so much of tech. So I think people in the IT sector should be smiling about it, because it's a welcoming, refreshing breath of change to see the government of India being so proactive. It's almost like a little corporation that's making decisions for their shareholders and their employees. So I think it's a fabulous move in terms of some of the proactive steps that they've taken along the entire journey. And I'm very excited. I think India's in great hands. So, Adobe is the leader in digital media, and what we've done is we've moved our entire business into a cloud-based subscription model. Now that's on fire. We've already touched 2.3 million paying subscribers and built a 1.4 billion annual recurring revenue base, right? That needs to grow up. That needs to grow, and that needs to grow faster than ever. So we got to be really focused on adding a lot of technology innovation that adds value to the customers on one side of the business. On the other side of the business, we are one of the largest players, or the global standard on digital marketing. We power digital marketing for 15,000 of the largest brands. We measure about 17 trillion transactions for these brands, right? So we're really big there. And the focus really is to go and innovate. So innovation is going to be the core theme across, whether it's go-to-market, whether it's the product, whether it's the way we sell our technology, the way we charge for it, right? And that's going to be the common theme across all of the employees. In terms of what's new, I think we're going to double down on check-in and make it far more effective. I think we're going to go out and use social media in a very big way. We've already started using social for hiring and for sharing stories about with the hashtag Adobe Life through a social training that we're taking all employees through. And that's going to be really big in our strategy. And the third thing is going to be underlying innovation, right? Whether it's patents, whether it's kickstart ideas, creating internal innovation, that's going to be the core focus. And of course, transforming the workplace and making it far more employee friendly is always going to be something that we are going to be focused on.